From Washington, this is VOA News. The U.S. president offers to broker a Mideast ceasefire. The Iraqi government asked for help after militants take radioactive material from an Iraqi university. I'm Ira Mellman reporting President Barack Obama has told the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the United States is prepared to mediate an end to the violence with Palestinians, including a return to the 2012 ceasefire. The president spoke to Mr. Netanyahu by telephone Thursday, another deadly day in the Mideast. The White House says Mr. Obama reaffirmed Israel's right to defend itself from rocket attacks by Hamas militants, but he said he is concerned the violence could escalate and that all sides must do all they can to protect the lives of civilians. Earlier Thursday, the UN chief, Ban Ki-moon, called for an immediate ceasefire, telling an emergency Security Council meeting that Israel and Hamas must show maximum restraint.
In his briefing to the Council, Mr. Ban said Islamic militant groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad have fired more than 550 rockets into Israel in the past several days, and Israel's military has responded with more than 500 airstrikes on Gaza. He urged the international community to speed up efforts to halt the escalation and reach a sustainable ceasefire.
We must keep the situation from getting any further out of control. Any further spiral of violence could have alarming, unforeseen consequences.
Nearly 90 Palestinians have been killed and 2 Israelis injured since the latest round of violence erupted following the kidnapping and killing of 3 Israeli youths and an alleged reprisal killing of a Palestinian teenager. Margaret Bashir, VOA News, the United Nations.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Afghanistan to meet with the 2 presidential candidates who are squabbling over the results of last month's runoff election. A State Department spokesman says Kerry will convey President Obama's message that the U.S. expects a thorough review of all reasonable allegations of fraud and will not accept any extra constitutional measures. Kerry already has warned one of the candidates, Abdullah, against using extra-legal means to grab power after his running mate talked about setting up a parallel government. Abdullah and his rival Ashraf Ghani both claimed victory in the June 14th runoff to replace outgoing President Hamid Karzai. Preliminary results show Abdullah trailing Ghani by about 1 million votes. The Iraqi government is asking for international help after Sunni militants from the group called the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant seized radioactive material from a university. It comes days after the militants took over a disused chemical weapons factory. Henry Ridgewell reports for VOA that weapons experts are playing down any major threat from these seizures.
The Iraqi government warned Thursday that the militants had seized up to 40 kilograms of uranium compounds from Mosul University. The speed of the Iraqi military's retreat from the rebels has left many sites unsecured, says Afzal Ashraf, counter-terrorist expert at the Royal United Services Institute.
There really wasn't time for them to do anything, and I don't think anybody ever really had a contingency plan, and that's something else that might come out of this, is to think about the sort of things that you might want to protect in the event that a city or a town falls.
In a letter to the United Nations, Baghdad appealed for international help to stave off the threat of the use of the nuclear material by terrorists in Iraq or abroad. But the International Atomic Energy Agency says the material is low grade and does not pose a significant risk.
Henry Ridgewell reporting from London. Ukrainian forces battling pro-Russian separatists near the Russian border regained more ground Thursday as two Western leaders again urged Moscow to press rebels to negotiate an end to the fighting. The office of Ukraine President Petro Poroshenko said security forces seized a border checkpoint in the Luhansk region and regained control of the town of Seversk, 70 kilometers northwest of Luhansk City. Separatists confirmed the Ukraine seizure, saying they retreated toward Donetsk to avoid being encircled by Ukrainian troops. The French President François Hollande and German Chancellor Angela Merkel urged Russian President Vladimir Putin to exert all necessary pressure on separatists to restart the truce talks. The Kiev government accuses Russia of supplying the rebels with arms, a charge that Moscow denies.
That's the latest world news from VOA.